Hi, today I'm going to show you the More Milestones mod a little bit more closely. I already did a smaller video about this mod, where I show a little overview, but now I want to show it a little bit more closely. And if I would show everything in one single video, the video will get way too long. So I separate the videos in 10 milestones per video. Then the mod adds over 335 new milestones, 546 new recipes, 452 new parts, 126 new nodes, a complete storyline, and much more. Let's start off with the first 10 milestones. At the start, only the first 3 milestones will be displayed. The very first milestone, a Phantom Menace, is located in tier 0 and already unlocks a bunch of new stuff. It's even that much, you can't see everything that the milestone unlocks. But although you still can see the milestone costs 300 iron plates, 500 iron rods, 500 wire and 200 concrete. First thing that the milestone unlocks is the snow foundation, which costs 100 packaged water and can be placed on foundations. Up next, the small pumpkin, which costs 1 biomass and is just a little decoration. Up next we have the notepad, which costs 50 iron plates, and if you press E on it, you can click here and write something in it. The next two things are the beginning from the storyline, namely the Engineer Log 1 and the Engineer Log 2. This is the start of a story of an engineer which came to this planet on 1st of August 3555. Up next we have another decoration, namely a modding Discord sign, which costs 1 ficsit coupon and shows off the banner of the modding Discord from Satisfactory. Up next, in the production tab, the Baby Rock Smasher, which costs 20 Baby Smasher heads, 100 cheap concrete, 100 complex steel versatile frameworks, 50 golden copper wire, and 60 economical cement. The Baby Rock Smasher itself is a new machine in which you can make out of coal powder, or out of coal powder and silica, powerful coal and coal impurity dust. Up next we have the coal strong generator, which is a better variation of the normal coal generator and is built out of 100 cheap concrete, 20 complex steel versatile frameworks, 100 golden copper wire, 50 complex steel screws, 20 cheap concrete chimney, and 35 economical cements. The coal strong generator consumes powerful coal and can produce up to 2.5 gigawatts of power. Up next we have the empty stackable pole, which costs 2 iron rods and 2 concrete. Difference to the normal conveyor pole is that this little bar here is missing. Up next we have different colors of beacons, and every single one costs 6 copper sheets and 1 normal beacon. Those are very large, and you can see them even from far distance. There is a blue version, a green one, a red one, a white one, cyan one, a yellow one, and a purple one. The first new item is coal powder, which is made out of coal in the Baby Rock Smasher and is used together with silica to produce powerful coal and coal impurity dust. Up next we have the small copper pipes, which are produced in a normal constructor and are made of copper sheets, which however are only needed in higher tiers. Up next we have golden copper ingots, which are produced in the assembler and are made of copper ingots and caterium ingots, and will be used to produce golden copper wire and complex steel ingots. Let's stay with the golden copper wire, which is produced in a normal constructor and is made of golden copper ingots, and are used to build the Baby Rock Smasher and the coal strong generator. Up next we have the complex steel ingots, which is produced in a foundry and are made of steel ingots and golden copper ingots, and are used for the complex steel joints, complex steel plate, complex steel reinforced bars, complex steel screws, and complex steel springs. Up next we have the economical cement, which is produced in the refinery and is made of water and polymer resin, and is used to produce cheap concrete. Let's move on with the cheap concrete, which is, like I said, made out of limestone and economical cement, and is also needed to build the Baby Rock Smasher and the coal strong generator. Up next we have the powerful coal, which is produced in the Baby Rock Smasher and is made of coal powder and silica, and is used in the coal strong generator to produce power. However, it has a side product, namely coal impurity dust. However, this is a waste product and can for now be disposed. Up next we have the cheap concrete chimney, which can be produced in the constructor and is made of cheap concrete and can be used the coal strong generator. Let's move on with the complex steel spring, which is produced in the assembler and is made of complex steel ingots and rubber, and is used to build the Baby Smasher head. Up next we have the complex steel screws, which is made out of complex steel ingots in the constructor and are used to build the cold strong generator and to build the complex steel reinforced plates and the complex steel versatile frameworks. Up next we have the complex steel joints, which can be produced in the constructor and are made of complex steel ingots and can be used to build the complex steel versatile frameworks. Let's move on with the complex steel plates, which are produced in the constructor and are made of complex steel ingots and are used to build the complex steel reinforced plates. Let's move on with the complex steel reinforced bar, which is produced in the constructor and is made of complex steel ingots and is the third item for the steel versatile framework. Up next we have the complex steel reinforced plates, which is produced in the assembler and is made of complex steel plate and complex steel screws and are the last piece for a complex steel versatile frameworks. Let's move on with the complex steel versatile frameworks itself. Like I said, they were produced in the manufacturer and are made of complex steel screw, complex steel reinforced bar, complex steel reinforced plates and complex steel joints and are used to build the baby rock smasher and the cold strong generator. Last but not least, we have the baby smasher head, which is produced in the refinery, complex steel springs and complex steel ingots and are used to build the baby rock smasher. Let's move on with the second milestone, alien, which costs 500 cable, 1500 screws, 500 iron plates and 200 small copper pipes. First, it unlocks the side stackable conveyor pole, which costs 2 iron rods, 2 iron plates and 2 concrete. They look exactly the same like the normal power pole, but have one significant difference. Normal ones have the hitbox to place it in the middle, and the side stackable ones have it a little bit on the side, which allows you to build them over existing conveyor belts more easy. Next we have the big personal storage box, which costs 6 reinforced iron plates and 6 iron rods. To compare here the normal storage box and the big personal storage box. The normal one has 25 slots and the big has 50 slots. Let's move on with milestone number 3, first contact, which costs 250 rotors, 250 reinforced iron plates, 200 solid biofuel and 5000 wire. As soon as you unlock the third milestone, the fourth will appear in tier 3. Back to the third one. This unlocks 3 new colors of the hologram beacons: dark purple, mauve and black. Moreover, there are 2 new types of walls: the iron wall, which costs 10 iron rods, and the wood wall, which costs 5 wood, which can be placed on foundations or on the ground freely everywhere. Here the direct comparison between the normal fence and the iron wall. Up next there is a big ladder, which costs 50 iron rods and is 10 times bigger in comparison to the normal ladder. Through that you can build ladders much faster, much higher. Let's move on in tier 3 with the milestone number 4, AI Artificial Intelligence, which costs 10 alien carb arrays, 5 alien organs, 200 smart plating and 100 coal, in which there is a new decoration, namely the Satisfactory update 3, which also costs 1 coupon. Next we have the white hologram foundation, which costs 6 concrete, and the white hologram wall, which also costs 6 concrete. Here the same again, as soon as you unlock the milestone 4, the milestone 5 will be displayed. Let's move on with milestone number 5, Man in Black, which costs 100 complex steel versatile frameworks, 500 copper sheets, 100 flower petals and 1000 coal. First, there's a new type of coffee cup, which can be built in the part builder and is made of color cartridges and plastic, but you also can automate it in the assembler. Next, there is a new decoration, namely the Fixit logo, which also costs 1 coupon. Up next, there is the next lock of the engineer lock. This time is the lock 20. Moreover, there's a new color of the holographic foundation and the holographic wall. This time it's blue. Let's move on with milestone number 6, Barbarella, which costs 500 steel ingots, 1500 cable, 5000 iron rods and 2000 concrete. First, there's a new type of machine, namely the forest, in which you can produce wood and leaves, which are made of biomass. Moreover, you need 10 cubic meters of water, however you get 7.5 cubic meters back from it. To build the forest you need 100 steel pipes, 1000 biomass, 20 reinforced iron plates, and 100 packaged liquid biofuel. Moreover, there's a new picture. This time it's Chase, one of the community manager from Coffee Stain Studio, which is the studio behind Satisfactory, which like always costs 1 coupon. Up next there is a new color from the hologram foundation and wall. This time it's red. Let's move on with milestone number 7, Moon, which costs 500 steel pipes, 250 steel beams, 250 versatile frameworks, and 5000 screws. With this milestone you get 3 new machines. Once there is the cutting edge assembler, which costs 50 wood, 20 leaves, 5 motors, and 100 screws, which every normal assembler recipe can be set, plus additional wood beam and plank. Up next there is the campfire, which costs 30 wood and 10 lighter, in which there is 2 recipes, one for the hog cooked meat and one for the hog medium rare steak with his sauce. And the third is the briquette burner, which needs briquette fuel to produce up to 90 megawatts. Moreover, there's a new recipe for the forest. This time is for the mycelia, which is made of liquid biofuel and sawdust. The first new item are nails, which are produced in the constructor and are made of iron ingots, and are the first part for the wooden roofs. Up next we have the lighter, which can be made in the assembler or in the cutting edge assembler, and are made of iron plates and packaged fuel, and are used to build the campfire. Up next we have the sawdust, which can be produced in the cutting edge assembler and are a side product of the plank or wood beams. However, there is an additional recipe in the constructor for producing only sawdust made of wood, and is used in the forest to make mycelia, and in the refinery to produce briquette fuel. Up next we have the wood beam, which only can build in the cutting edge assembler and are made of wood. Additionally to that, there is a side product, namely sawdust. It is the second part for the wooden roof. Up next we have the planks, which also only can build in the cutting edge assembler, are made of wood as well, and have also a side product, namely sawdust, and are the third item for the wood roof. Up next we have the briquette fuel, which can be produced in the refinery, which ones can be made out of sawdust and water, or out of compact leaves and water, and it's be used in the briquette burner to produce power. Let's move on with the compact leaves, which can be built in the constructor and are made of leaves, and are used to produce the briquette fuel, and are the fourth and last part for the wooden roofs. Let's move on with the wooden roof itself, which are produced in the manufacturer and are made, like I said, out of planks, nails, wood beams, and compact leaves, which can be used to build the wooden crate, the watchtower, and the wooden gazebo. Up next we have the hog cooked meat, which is made in the campfire and is made of alien carapace, and can be either be eaten, which fills up 1 life bar, or can be produced further, again in the campfire, to hog medium rare steak with his sauce. Let's move on with the hog medium rare steak with his sauce, which is, like I said, made in the campfire and is made of hog cooked meat and bacon or garlic, and fills up to 3 life bars. But that's not all. Additionally, there is a new decoration, a picture of Snot, the second community manager of Coffee Stain Studio, and another color of the holographic foundation and wall. This time it's green, and there is a new type of walls and foundations, namely the wood one. All those 5 things always cost 5 planks: the wooden wall, the wood foundation, and the 1, 2, and 4 meter type of the wood ramp. Moreover, there is a new type of storage box, namely the wooden crate. For this you'll need 100 planks, 30 nails, and 10 wooden roof, and has, like the big personal storage box, 50 slots. Up next there is a new type of lookout tower, namely the wooden watchtower, which costs 2 wooden roof, 10 wooden beam, and 15 nails, and is even mockable. However, the heights are not really balanced yet. Up next, the wooden gazebo, which costs 20 compacted leaves, 5 wooden roofs, 10 nails, and 5 wood beams. Last but not least, the log 25 of the engineer logs. Let's move on with milestone number 8, Martian, which costs 10 barley nuts, 10 pala berries, 10 bacon or garlic, and 100 wood roofs. First, there is a new picture from Ficsit. Here, again, like always, it costs 1 coupon. Up next, there are 3 new colors of the Mark 1 pipe. Here the original orange one, which can transport, like the 3 new ones, 300 cubic meters per minute. Up next we have the yellow glowing, the green glowing and the red one. All the new pipes cost 2 all-cloth aluminum sheets and 2 plastic. However, those pipes are added before the Pipeline Mark II came to the game. So at the moment the emissive pipelines are more expensive than the Pipeline Mark II. To compare, the normal Pipeline Mark I costs 1 copper sheet. Let's move on with milestone number 9, the Hitchhiker's Guide of the Galaxy, which costs 250 starters, 1000 rotors, 250 cheap concrete and 1000 briquette fuel. First, there is a new picture, and this time it's a picture of the Spider Cat Easter egg. Moreover, there's a new color of the Pipeline Mark I, this time is white. Let's move on with Efforts of War 10, the Shadow of the Past, which costs 500 wood, 10,000 concrete, 10,000 iron rods, and 10,000 wire. First, there's a new picture, and this time it's the logo from the More Milestones mod. Up next, there is the next log from the Engineer log, this time it's log 29. Moreover, there is a new type of foundation and wall. Once the metallic foundation, which costs 5 iron plates, and the iron wall, which also costs 5 iron plates. There's again a new type of wall, namely the computer wall, which costs 5 iron plates and has on one side such little computers, but they're only for decoration. Up next there's a new line of machines, namely the baby machines, which are nothing else than the normal machine, but way much smaller. First, there is the baby refinery, which costs 30 complex steel screws, 2 complex steel versatile frameworks, 100 baby curious adapters, 20 cheap concrete chimneys, 50 golden copper wire, and 60 small copper pipes. Up next, there is the baby constructor, which costs 20 complex steel screws, 5 complex steel versatile frameworks, 45 baby curious adapter, 10 cheap concrete chimneys, and 20 golden copper wire. Next, there is the baby assembler, which costs 50 complex steel screws, 10 complex steel versatile frameworks, 60 baby curious adapter, 30 cheap concrete chimneys, and 25 golden copper wire. Next, there is the baby manufacturer, which costs 100 complex steel screws, 20 complex steel versatile frameworks, 200 baby curious adapter, 35 cheap concrete chimneys, 100 golden copper wire, and 75 complex steel joints. Up next there is the baby smelter, which costs 7 complex steel screws, 1 complex steel versatile framework, 30 baby curious adapter, 5 cheap concrete chimneys, and 10 golden copper wire. And last but not least, the baby foundry, which costs 45 complex steel screws, 7 complex steel versatile frameworks, 75 baby curious adapter, 7 cheap concrete chimneys, 20 golden copper wire, and 10 small copper pipes. Moreover, there's a completely new machine, namely the Curious Builder, which costs 20 complex steel springs, 30 golden copper wire, 5 complex steel versatile frameworks, 500 biomass, and 70 cheap concrete chimneys, in which 3 new items can be built: the Curious printed circuit board, the baby Curious adapter, and the Curious organic piece. Let's start with the Curious printed circuit board, which is, like I said, can be built in the Curious Builder and are made of plastic, golden copper ingot, golden copper wire, and wood roof, and can be used also in the Curious Builder to build the baby Curious adapter. Up next we have the Curious organic piece, which are also made in the Curious Builder and are made of powerful coal, sawdust, cheap concrete, and biomass, and are also for the baby Curious adapter. Up next, the baby Curious adapter itself, which is also made in the Curious Builder and are made of Curious printed circuit board, Curious organic piece, complex steel ingots, and golden copper wire, and are used to build the baby machines. Moreover, there are 4 new types of splitters and mergers: the vertical triple splitter unidirectional. This is nothing else than 3 normal splitters on top of each other. However, they're connected together, means all 3 inputs are randomly outputted to the 9 outputs, which can make balancing of belts way much easier. There is also a horizontal version with 4 in and 4 outputs. Moreover, there's a splitter with 1 input and 7 outputs, and a merger with 7 inputs and 1 output. All of those 4 cost 10 complex steel plates and 10 complex steel screws. Those were the first 10 milestones. 10 more will follow. I hope I can help you a little with this video and wish you a nice rest of your day.